Live from the Valley. Here's what's coming up on tonight's show. We look back at this week's games against Middlesbrough and Norwich and ahead to Saturday's clash with Birmingham. We'll also be hearing from Bob Peters, who today faced the press ahead of Saturday's match, and we're delighted to be joined live in the studio by Addicks captain Johnnie Jackson and Matchday Live commentator Peter Finch. Welcome, guys.
Thanks very much.
Don't forget, you can tweet in comments on using the hashtag CFC1905 at CFC Official on Twitter. Guys, obviously we're coming off the back of an incredible win, let's call it that, on Tuesday night against Norwich. Thanks to your goal, Johnny, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later. We're going to have a look at the goals. A little bit of a chat about the start of the season so far, Johnny. Unbeaten and 10, you couldn't have asked for anything better than that.
No, I mean, beyond our wildest dreams, I don't think we could possibly have thought 10 games in that we'd still be unbeaten and have the points tally that we've got as well. So we're in a really, really good start. You know, if we'd have drawn the other night, you'd have probably said too many draws, but now looking at it, it's a great points total, 4 wins, 6 draws, unbeaten, so couldn't ask for any more.
The style of play plays a part in that. There's more football being played. Bob wants the team to play from the back. Is that helping the team?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly, some of the games at home, you know, on the new pitch, that's definitely been a factor that we've been able to get it down and pass it. I mean, it would have been an option last year. Some of the games that we was playing, you just couldn't possibly think about playing out from the back the way that we have been trying to, because it would just cause you too many problems. But obviously the pitches help the matter, and come in and he's insisted that he wants this style of play for us to play out from the back, through midfield, through the lines, and I think we've taken in the home games. It's been a factor. It
does lead to a few hairy back when the ball and there's a bit of pressure. You're dropping short, but sometimes you think a couple of hospital passes here and there, and think, good grief, someone's going to get
it will happen. You know, that's going to happen if you're being encouraged to play that way. You have to accept that now and again. There will be a little bit of a mishap and a misplaced pass in the wrong place in your penalty area or deep in your own half, and it could lead to an opportunity, even a goal. We saw at Rotherham, it was a bit of a slip, and that can happen. But you know, he insists that if it does happen, that we carry on.
Yeah.
And you don't get fed up with it, and you don't go away from it. You continue to do what he wants and play the way the team wants.
And how's your role as an individual in the team changed with that style of play? You have to have a very much different mentality out there?
Yeah, it does. I think I found myself playing a bit deeper in the side than I have done previously, especially, you know, only playing a 2 in central midfield sometimes doesn't give you as much licence to be, you know, marauding. You know, when I played in a 3, I've been pretty much given licence to sort of play off the striker or make the box a bit more, and you just have to be a bit cuter with it. You know, you can't leave that middle ground unoccupied. So, you know, I feel like I've formed a decent partnership with Yoni in there, and you know, we recognise if one is more attacking or one is making the box, you have to have the other one being more disciplined, and certainly as a consequence of that, you know, I think I've found myself playing in a slightly deeper role. But you know, if it benefits the team, that's fine.
I mean, life under Bob Peters generally, I mean, the fans are taken to him. He's quite a popular guy. Has he found that sort of balance between, you know, being the disciplinarian he needs to be as a manager, but also being the popular guy in the dressing room and indeed on the touchline as well?
Yeah, I think so. We've had, you know, on the training pitch, he's quite jovial, and you know, when it's time to work, he gets serious. But we do have a laugh and a joke, and it is fun. And you know, there's Mickey taking a bit of you know, camaraderie like that. But we've also had a few half-time team talks where we've, you know, had a bit of a rocket, and I think that's important as well. You know, you can't always be laughing and joking. You know, you have to know who the boss is, and he has to get his points across, you know, when needed. And you know, a few times, half times and after games, you know, he said what he needs to say, but then it's gone, and you move on, and you know, no grudges held. We just you have to, as a player, you have to take responsibility that, you know, sometimes you're going to be told that you know what you're not doing right. Accept that.
With new players coming into side, you've got players like Goodmanson, Igor Vetterkelly. There seems to be more goals in the team. The potential's there for a huge, you know, lots of goals. And sooner or later, there's going to be a game where we're going to get 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think so. Certainly, compared to last season, it was obviously a big problem towards the end of the season, scoring goals. And obviously, Igor's come in and he started the season absolutely on fire. I think 5 in his first 4, something like that. So he hasn't scored in a few since, but everyone else has been chipping in as well. So yeah, all the new boys have come in. You know, the goal scorers, Igor obviously is going to take the plaudits. But everyone who's come into the two centre backs have come in and done great. Obviously, Yoni's come in and done a great job, like you say. Goodmanson from the right wing is obviously a real threat as well. So.
You're talking about the centre backs. Got Ben Haim, a vast amount of experience, but BK, a bit of a beast, isn't he? The fans have taken to him already.
BK the beast, yeah, yeah. He's an absolute monster. Obviously, you know, just an unbelievably, like, his stature. He's a big guy, and wouldn't want to really have a fight with him.
It's all muscle with him as well, isn't it? There's not an ounce of fat on him.
No, he's not. Yeah, there's no. Well, he's got a little bit of a roll now.
Well, you can say that. I'm not.
Probably edit that bit out. Don't tell. No. He's obviously he's got great size, and it's brilliant for the team to have someone, you know, that commanding back there.
And you got Royce and Chris Solly doing the business, and Joe Gomez coming through as well.
Yeah, young Joe, when he's coming to the side, you know what you're getting out of Royce and Solly, same as ever, you know. Both,
well, they're going to moan the way through the game, really.
Yeah, they're just going to moan the whole way through the game, and you know exactly what you're going to get. Reliable pair. Probably not going to smile too much.
No, that's right.
During the 90 minutes. But like you say, Joe Gomez has come in, you know, when Chris has played midweek and done brilliant, you know, for a kid his age. It's incredible how well he's done and how seamless he's been getting into the team.
Okay, well, let's go back to Tuesday night. Charlton made the trip to the top of the table in Norwich City, hoping to make it 10 championship games unbeaten. Here's all the highlights and match reaction.
It's the match of the night in the Championship as Norwich, the league leaders, unbeaten since the opening weekend of the season in the second tier, take on Charlton, who haven't lost a league game at all. Peter's side have really specialised in draws so far. And here's Tete. Houlihan. Grab him with a little bit of space. Henderson works it round the post. Those two teammates at Bournemouth for a spell last season. Norwich finding more space for Houlihan. Grab it again for him. Of a 7th goal already this season. It's corner and put in, but Russell Martin's effort won't count, a foul given on the goalkeeper. It's a fairly strong challenge by Bradley Johnson. Much dictating so far. Redmond's cross. BK with a clearance. No one by Tete. Here's Houlihan. Frustration for the impressive midfielder. Now grab it. Norwich open up their opponent's defence here. That's proved tricky. Jerome. Henderson with another very useful stop. Charlton doing their best to be disciplined and hard to break down. Grabbing on the turn. Jerome. Pretty unselfish and fairly wild from Martin Olsen. With a good flow to Norwich's play. Despite Charlton's unbeaten record, they've not managed an away win so far. Redmond. Hopeful shot really. It did well to create something when moving into a very congested central part of the pitch. Now Redmond has broken in behind the defence. And Henderson producing a good one-handed stop. Appeals for handball as it's blocked by BK. And Charlton just about clear in this frenetic scramble. As Houlihan had come close in that melee too. Now Howson, the substitute. Grabban has the chance to go at the defender here. And the anticipated curl on the shot never came. He's got plenty of good service to Grabban tonight. Only a few minutes left here. This is Jackson coming forward. Oh, it's taken a deflection. And Charlton are on their way to victory at the league leaders. Just 4 minutes to go. Just long range and the little touch. Too much for John Ruddy. And there is victory for Bob Peters' side. They have their first away win, and they have it at the league leaders to boot. It's finished Norwich 0, Charlton 1 here in the final seconds, as things get rather feisty with the game concluded.
Yeah, sometimes I think we were lucky with one or two chances of Norwich, but if you see the overall game, I think our shape was brilliant. Everybody worked very hard. If you know that at the end we play a 17-year-old front, a 70-year-old up front, and a 17-year-old right back. If you compare the two budgets, I think it's a massive result. And whether it's justified or not, I think our game plan worked. The boys worked very hard, and okay, they got rewarded for it.
He's very delighted. I think everybody, all on the pitch, worked hard today, and everybody put in 110%, and it showed in the end.
Okay, guys, what a night, what a win, Johnny, what a goal.
Yeah, it was a worldie, wasn't it? One of the best.
Slight deflection?
Apparently there was a slight deflection on it that wrong-footed Ruddy a little bit, but I don't care about that, to be honest.
It's not bad beating an England keeper, is it really?
No, exactly. There's not many done that. So,
No.
well, probably a few, but
Especially in the World Cup, eh?
yeah, I'll take it all day long.
Looking at the game, in the second half there was some real dogged defending and backs to the wall stuff, and really at the back there, but they only really created. There was only one time where they really got in behind us, as when Joe Gomez was injured.
Yeah, I think that was that situation, and then it might have even been part of the same situation where the ball was cleared off the line. Probably the two that you look at and say where they might have scored or should have scored. Beyond that, it was more, pressure of the ball. Obviously, he was under the cosh, backs against it, but they didn't have too many chances where you go, definitely should have scored there.
And any other attempts on goal seem to be from long range, which is a good thing. Defence is doing their job in the midfield, and even Igor's getting involved at the back there.
Yeah, he was back there helping us out, and we needed everyone. And then when they do get your shots, you rely on your goalkeeper, and obviously Hendo was magnificent again, like he has been in the game so far. If they do manage to get the shots in, that's where you need your goalkeeper to come to the fore.
A few contentious decisions, obviously, from Norwich's point of view. We'll say maybe they should have had an earlier goal. We've all seen it. It shouldn't have been allowed, should it, the first?
The foul on the
goal was disallowed,
on the goal, yeah, definite foul. I was right there. The corner come in, Hendo's taken it clean, and he's just knocked the ball out of his hands, or he's knocked Hendo, causing the ball to come out of his hands. Can't see a problem with that one. Easy one for the referee to give.
Listening to these guys, at the time there was a bit of confusion, wasn't there? You thought it was a goal given, but
they get a bit
on the pitch, because he pointed, didn't he, the referee? Was there an immediate thought if he's given a foul, or were you not sure?
The crowd cheered for ages. They thought it was a goal, but I was right next to the ref, and I knew that he'd blown for a foul.
He pointed, and it looked like he's pointing to the centre circle. So we thought he'd given a goal, and we were going into meltdown, because as far as we were concerned, there was a foul on the keeper. And then there was confusion and then the game started. We still weren't sure until we had the free kick. It was a bit confusing. And
the other one was a handball. Cries for, I think it was Andre, wasn't it? Claiming, but did you get a view of that at all?
Well, I didn't get a view of it because I was the one who slid and knocked it onto his hand, possibly.
Just ball to hand.
Well, he was about 2 yards away from me.
What could he do? Yeah.
And there was nothing he could do, and his hands were down by his side as well. So, I think if his hand's up there and it hits it, maybe it's a penalty. But I think from there, he wasn't putting his hand out to stop the ball. It just, it did strike his. But I don't think that's a penalty.
That must be a tough game, especially in those sort of atmospheres. Very partisan crowd. I mean, the Charlton fans made some superb noise, but the home fans, when decisions weren't going their way, were getting on the referee's back. And he stood up to that well, and he's made the right decision, or seemingly made the correct decisions.
He did, yeah. I mean, I can't fault him. If you talk to a Norwich fan, they'll probably tell you he's the worst referee and performance they've seen. But that just shows you, the bias of whatever side you're on. And they was under a lot of pressure because it's a great crowd out there. I think 25,000 plus, I think, and they make a lot of noise and they put pressure. But you got to back the officials to stand up to that, do their job, and just make the right, honest call, which I think he did.
Obviously, the term smash and grab was used quite a lot afterwards. I don't see it that way, because that to me suggests you've gone there, you've not performed well, but you've still managed to get a result. But for me, it's not a smash and grab because it's a good away job. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I do think there's an element of smash and grab to it. You have to slightly disagree. That doesn't mean that you didn't play well. It just means that we was defending for a lot of the time, and you back yourself to see it out, and then try and take your chance when it does come along. And if that's called smash and grab or a great away performance, whatever, it doesn't matter. They're both worth 3 points.
Well, Bob said afterwards, didn't he, that was his game plan. We'll get a chance, and we did. Yeah. If anything, it was a half chance rather than anything else.
To be 25 yards out. Yeah, it was a speculative shot, and if you get in and around the box, you got to take your chances, and that one we did.
Okay, moving on. After being spoilt for choice in August Goal of the Month competition, September selection isn't bad either. Pick your favourites from the following 4 strikes. You'll be able to vote for your favourite goal on Twitter from Monday. Okay, all week, fans have been sending in their questions for Johnny via the club's various social media channels, and we're going to go through a few of our favourites now. You ready, Johnny, for this?
Yeah, you just won't be able to vote for my goal because this lot didn't deem it good enough to be.
You have to speak to Jimmy about that one.
That and the airbrush, it's not been your month, has it really, Johnny?
No,
we'll get to that maybe later, but let's get to these questions first. First up was from what is your greatest moment as Charlton captain?
Ooh, greatest moment?
Oh, Sheffield Wednesday.
Been a few.
All right, Pete, let's make my own mind up.
I'm just giving you some guidance.
There has been a few. I would say probably captaining the side to promotion would be the one. Not necessarily the day of lifting. The day of getting promoted was
Carlisle.
Probably one of the best days of my career. But then the whole day around the celebration and getting the trophy and being the captain, getting to lift it.
Was that better than the People's Cup then?
Oh, the People's Club was probably a close second.
Yeah, I thought so.
It was a toss-up, but I'd have to go for that. It's
Yeah.
probably
Good man.
Probably up
How
there.
does that feel actually lifting, after a long season like that, actually being able to stand there and lift that trophy?
Brilliant.
101 points.
Brilliant. I mean, we was up there all season, and although you expect it the way through, you're fearing the worst that something, we're going to have a dramatic collapse.
Yeah.
And then you get promoted and you say, right, we'll make sure we win the league because we want that. Obviously, being the captain, you're going to be the one who gets to lift it. So, there are moments that when your career is done that you'll look back on and remember forever.
That Carlisle game, how nervous are you before? Because you're aware that a result here and we're promoted. What's that like?
How I remember it, I don't think we was nervous. We was in such a confident, place at the time where we felt like we was going to win every week, and it was sort of we was going Carlisle to get promoted. We knew we was going there and we was going to win, no matter how the game went. That was how I saw it, and I think all the boys did. I mean, we just couldn't see anything other than, it took a while the goal to come, but it will come. And if it didn't, then we'd do it in the next game, But obviously, there's always that little bit doubt, that everything could go spectacularly wrong. But I think we was far too good as a squad that year to not get the job done.
Okay, a bit of a change of pace now, Johnny. The fan obviously knows you like your music. He asks Addicted Addict on Twitter, what albums have you been listening to recently?
I haven't been listening to. He's going to be a bit upset. He likes his new music, but you'll probably quite like this, Pete. I went to see Jersey Boys the other day, and
West End, yeah.
So I've been listening to
Your day.
I'm not that old.
I've been listening to quite a bit of
The
Frankie
50s,
Valli
yeah.
from.
That's all right, as it
from
goes
your
from the
era.
70s.
So,
The 70s stuff's all right.
Yeah, been a bit of Four Seasons been listening to. I still listen to me regulars, The Strokes, Arctic Monkeys.
Was it reggae there for a minute?
Bit of reggae, bit of Bob here and there. But I haven't
Floyd?
discovered anyone. I like Pink Floyd. I know you're a big fan. I haven't discovered anyone new. I can't really say I'm sort of on the pulse with it at the moment, to be honest.
Or maybe Martin can advise you on Twitter, maybe later
so.
on. Next question from Vaughan Davis, I think it is. How long do you think you can keep playing for?
Some people say I've got about a month left, I think. Listen, I'll keep playing for as long as I can. Hopefully, I've got a couple more years at this level. I'd love to finish my career here. I'd love to help the club go up to the Premiership one day. That would be my absolute dream. But as a professional, I just want, I enjoy playing. I love it. I love training every day, and I just want to carry on for, as long as I can, really. That's it.
Okay. Next up, Tom George asks, have the players from abroad had any trouble settling in?
No, I don't think so. I think they've got quite a good group of them. I think a lot of them live close by, and I think their wives and girlfriends have got quite friendly. So they've created their own little group themselves, and in the training ground and things, they're absolutely fine, settled in brilliantly. Taken to all the boys, and I don't see that they've had any problem at all. And I think living in London is probably not the worst place for them to live. So.
Yeah, you mentioned sort of being able to settle in quite quickly, and that's part of it, isn't it? Not just bringing in players for their playing ability, but the right sort of characters for around.
No, of course, yeah. You have to bring in the right lads. There's no point bringing in players that have got ability, but want to do everything themselves. Don't want to be team players, but we seem to have struck the balance well, because not only are they bringing a lot of attributes to the pitch, but they're also good lads that work hard and gelled with all the rest of the boys.
Okay, final question is from Luke Taylor. Expectations changed after the start we've made?
Not from us. We haven't set ourselves any goals. We just keep on doing what we're doing. It's brilliant success. There's no need to sort of change anything. I think I heard the manager say that you maybe reassessing. If at Christmas, if you're still in and around the same place, then maybe you look at it differently. But at the moment, it's 10 games in, so I don't think we can get carried away. We can't expect us to go through the season unbeaten and things like that. We will lose at some. It's important that you keep level when you're winning and you're losing, and you see where it takes you. And we've got a good formula at the moment that's bringing success, and we just want to keep doing that.
Okay, we're going to ask you a few more questions that people have been tweeting in during the show. People will have those in a bit. But earlier I spoke to a Birmingham City journalist, Colin Tatum, to ask him about his thoughts ahead of Saturday's game at the Valley.
Birmingham brought in so many new players in the summer. It was a complete sort of clear out again for various reasons, primarily financial, and they've had to sort of bed a new team in, and results haven't always gone to plan. But overall, they have actually performed quite well, and they just maybe haven't had the luck they've deserved. And certainly the win at Millwall was one that was much needed, because it sort of took that pressure off the manager, the players, and everybody. And one of the biggest problems that they've had is they've gone into the lead in so many games, but not managed to sustain the lead, build on it, and see games out. But of course, at the Den, they did just that, and so I think that has lifted a very big weight off a lot of people's shoulders, and you know, and the confidence and the mood is very good there at the moment.
I mean, you said there's been quite a big overhaul. Did you think that's part of it? There's some gelling in still to be done, bedding in the side?
The manager won't use that as an excuse, but I think that is definitely a factor, because, you know, when in effect you're bringing in sort of 9, 10, 11, 12 players in one fell swoop, it is going to take time for them to sort of get to know one another and get to know the manager and how he wants them to play and so on. But that said, he did get them in the majority of the squad in very early, and, you know, before they actually reported back to pre-season, and they had a very good pre-season. So there is that to it as well. But they're a very good group, they're a very together group, and a very honest group, and I think, you know, that should be reflected in the way that they'll perform at the Valley. You know, that they won't just sort of give up on any cause, that they will always try to the best of their ability, and I think that's one thing was a problem last season, whereby as Birmingham sort of went on a slide towards the sort of the relegation places, that they just sort of tended to sort of buckle in a lot of games and concede goals in bunches, and just couldn't recover from it.
When you mentioned last season, obviously there was that final day miracle really to stay in the league, but this year what are the realistic, again, just to consolidate and stay in this league? Did the fans see it that way?
Yeah, I think everybody has been very realistic about the plight surrounding the club. It's mainly the off-field affairs. They've got terrible financial problems, and the budget is the lowest it's ever been since, you know, in about 25 years. In fact, since Birmingham were last in the old Division 3, and so, you know, to go from basically escaping relegation on goal difference on the final day to sort of challenging for the top 6. I mean, people are not, you know, expecting that. I think mainly they just want some sort of consolidation, hopefully mid-table, just to get the club stable again on the field, and hope that off the field there's some at the end of the tunnel in regards a takeover, which is very much needed to inject some, not just some capital and investment, but some enthusiasm and optimism around the place.
Yeah, you obviously mentioned that there's been all sorts of problems at boardroom level over the last few years, and Lee Clark and what he's been able to do with his side. Do you think he did manage to bring in players this summer, but do you think it was a sort of cut and paste job rather than really what he wanted and what he needed?
Basically, he knew what his parameters were. Basically, you know, Bosmans and maybe loans, and he knew what he had to work with and what he could and couldn't do. So that helped in that respect. So there was no outlandish players that he had no chance of getting. But yeah, you know, it definitely has impacted. You know, since Birmingham were relegated, the finances have dwindled, and there's been more and more problems. But one thing his staff and the players have done, they've literally have just got on with it. You know, they can't affect those sort of things. So, you know, commendable to them. They've just tried to concentrate on what they can affect, and that's, you know, on the field and the football itself, to varying degrees, obviously, over, you know, since they did come out of the top flight. But ultimately, they've just concentrated and focused on the football, and hopefully, you know, it is a long season, as we always know, the Championship. They can turn a bit of a corner and get some, because definitely, you know, there are good signs we're seeing in long spells of games. It's just that old matter of seeing the games out and getting the points that performances have actually deserved.
Hey guys, let's talk about Birmingham here on Saturday. We're at a stage now where maybe we've had a lot of tough games, especially at home. Teams that have either been in the top 6 this season or were in the top 6 last season, and, you know, likes of, you know, Wigan, of course, and
Derby and Brighton.
Derby, Brighton away we've played. Do you think now we're at a stage, a team like Birmingham come, we forward to think, is this a game we perhaps should be winning?
We'll certainly be going out there to try and win it and expect ourselves to win it, but I think that is where the danger lies when you go in, expectations change, and now all of a sudden like, we should be beating the likes of Birmingham. You know, that's not how it works. You know, we saw at Rotherham, everyone expecting us to go there and beat them. You know, for 45 minutes it looked like we would, but second half completely different game, and in the end, you know, you take your draw. So Birmingham will be a tough game, like they all are. They'll be coming here on the back of a good win in the week, confident, and they'll probably set up, you know, probably to try and stop us playing. It'll be down to us to break them down. So it'll be another tough one. There's, you know, the moment you start thinking that games are won, when you hit problems. We know with this league, you see it all the time that the top can beat bottom on any given day. That, you know, there's just not a given result.
Do you think teams will now see that we're unbeaten in 10 games, so suddenly the hunter becomes the hunted? So people will be looking to break out that unbeaten record. You look at Huddersfield in the League One promotion season, they had a massive run of theirs. Was it 40 odd games? Apparently not including a playoff game. Unbeaten. And do you think that sort of comes into other teams' minds when they come to the rally?
I think every side now will want to be the first ones to beat us. That goes with the territory, you know, being the unbeaten side, you're there to be shot down. I remember it when we was in League One, and if you talk to Laurie Wilson, they were up for that game. They were the first side to beat us that year, and they was well up for it because we was top of the league, not that we are now, but top of the league and unbeaten, and you know we was a scout. So sides will definitely, if we was playing an unbeaten side, you'd be saying, right, well, we're going to be the first to do it. So we'll have to deal with that, and Birmingham will be coming here thinking they beat our rivals down the road, but why can't they do it to us?
They've played 10 games, they've only won in their last 8 and conceded 17 goals this season. So there's something, you know, at the back there, they look a bit shaky.
Certainly, yeah, and we'll do our homework, and we'll be working on it tomorrow and watching videos and things like that to see where, you know, the solutions lie, where we can cause doubt. We can. We always feel we've got goals in our side, or certainly chances, and you know, we feel like if we keep a clean sheet, then we'll definitely win a game. So that will be down to us to undo them.
And it's important now in past couple of seasons at the Valley to get results, and we've had things like the pitch, but it just seems to be difficult. Is it a chance to make the Valley a fortress as it used to be so many years ago?
Yeah, I think we've started to do that already. You see the games that have already gone here before. Okay, we've drawn the last 2, but against good sides, you've got to remember, and the 2 games that we have won against very, very good sides, 2 sides, Watford and Derby, that I'm sure will be right up there at the end of it. So 4 games in, unbeaten at home, well, unbeaten away as well, but 2 wins at home, 2 draws. Certainly in past seasons we haven't had that sort of form, so I think we're already starting to turn it to our advantage.
But then you look at, as you said, look at our fixture list at the start of the season. You'd have taken 4 games unbeaten at home, despite the opposition we've played.
Definitely, yeah, and to have, you know, that we have got, you know, to beat them 2 sides, I don't think you would have looked at it and said we're going to beat Watford and Derby back to back at home. You know, realistically, having seen how it's gone in previous seasons, so credit to us that we have done that. But you know, you can't sit back on that. You know, we'll be the home side Saturday, and we'll see that as another chance to get a win.
Okay, before we go on, let's just have a quick word from Bob Peters ahead of Saturday's game.
If we can make top 10 with the budget we have and with the squad we have, it would be a major achievement. So I think that's a fair analyse. But again, at this moment we're still thinking about getting an easy season. And if you're very realistic, we have 8 points of bonus now for staying up. Because if you normally 46, 47, 1 point a game will keep you up. So we have an advantage of 8 points. So now we need to push and get as many points as possible so we have an easy season. And if in January we're still there where we are now, okay, then we need to change our ambition and to maybe push it a little bit more. But at this moment we're still building, and I'm very happy the fans enjoy it, and they see a different style of play. Okay, people start to adjust to our game and our level. But again, they can't hold it against my players. They've got, and sometimes you play well, sometimes you play bad, but they see a team who wants to fight every game to get the best result as possible, and that for me is important. And even first 20 minutes in Norwich, because everybody said, yeah, I never saw a team back against the wall 90 minutes, but if you're very honest, you look the first 20 minutes, I think we were the better side, and we were passing the ball much better. But people forget.
Hashtag CFC 1905.
Okay, Pete, we're back. Obviously, Bob Peters there talking about Saturday. The fans have been superb here all season, and Bob, in all his programme columns, goes out of his way to mention just how much of a 12th man they are. And a lot of people think it's hyperbole, but it really isn't, is it? They do make a difference.
No, of course, yeah, it spurs you on. You know, some of the games in the second half when we've been under caution, you can hear the crowd really getting behind you and sort of willing you to hang on, and the support, you know, both home and away, it's been great. You see the support we had up there on Tuesday night as well, magnificent. You know, it was nice to give them something to shout about. But yeah, like we're talking about turning the valley into a fortress, and obviously the crowd plays a massive part in that. And you know, they've been doing it. Credit to them. They've been playing there. We're trying to play our part. You know, together. If we get that formula right, you know, it's going to be a tough place for people to come to.
Going back to this unbeaten run, we touched on it earlier, but is it something that, as soon as you come into this room on a Saturday, it's and let's go to 11? Do you have a target? Like you talked about the Stevenage game, that was 12 games before we were beaten. Do you perhaps maybe, even if it's not subconsciously, just want to reach that 12 games again, or is it just take each game as it comes?
I haven't really thought about it. I mean, I didn't know it was the 12th game until you just said, but you just want to keep the run. Say that, I mean, I say pretty much every week, you know, amongst other things, you know, let's make sure, come off this pitch, we keep that run going. You know, we're unbeaten, let's go and win the game first and foremost, but let's keep this run going. And it's about momentum and just keep doing what we're doing, and the results will come, you know. It's going to come to an end, we will lose. But you know, we just want to keep it going for as long as we can. People are talking about it now because it's 10 games, and you know, it's quite a long stretch of games and quite an achievement that people are, you know, starting to become a subject. But we're not getting hung up on it. We're just going to do our thing.
Okay, we're heading back in time now to 2003 to look back on a famous encounter between the two sides at St Andrews.
This one in right footed. It's flicked in, and it is a goal. It's Matty Holland for Charlton. Birmingham City, whose defence has been so watertight this season, have been opened up by a simple set piece. And it's Matt Holland rising in between two defenders to flick the ball into Mike Taylor and into the net. Struck the Birmingham goalkeeper, but he couldn't do anything about keeping it out. It's Matt Holland's first Charlton Athletic goal. Stewart to Jensen. And this might be another chance for Charlton Athletic, it is. And it's a good save by Taylor. Has to go down as a glaring miss from Jonathan Johansson. Should have been 2-0. Birmingham City are thinking they should have flag as well. Johansson played in and hit it straight against the right leg of Mike Taylor. Eyes only on the ball, he didn't look up at the goal. Could be a big moment in the match. From Jensen. This is Stewart, and it's in. Couple of deflections, and Matty Holland is claiming the final touch. His second of the night, Charlton's second. They lead 2-0 at Birmingham. Away from goal, but straight against Matt Holland. Came off his midriff. What part of the body it struck, it went in. Azarides' delivery, getting better. It will go Upson, and it's Christophe Dugarry who's opened his account for the season to get Birmingham back in it. Game on at St Andrews. Now Hughes. Pressure mounting as Bryderson scoops one away by whatever method. Teberlin. And the defence, here goes to Gary. What a save from Dean Kiley. And Dugarry knows it. Perfect run again. He must have thought he got the equaliser. Wonderful reactions from the Charlton keeper. Jensen. Got a pass done. Got past Lazaridis and it's still Jensen. Now he's found Lisby. Shot on for Lisby. Tipped over the top by an alert Mike Taylor. Kevin Lisby looking for his 6th goal of the season. It was a good effort. Able to get the ball unchallenged, and this is Kevin Lisby. He'll have to go alone. He will go alone. Great save again, Taylor, and Cunningham gets it away. Clapham. Can he swing the ball over? Up goes. Kept out by Kylie's brilliance. It's another one to add to the catalogue of super saves we've seen from both goalkeepers. Oh, that's the best of the bunch. That's wonderful stuff from Dean Kiley. Had to claw it back. There was some power on that from Mikel Forssell. Into the corner, waiting for the full-time whistle. A full-time whistle that signifies the end of Birmingham City's unbeaten home record this season. Dean Kiley. Standing form for Charlton Athletic. They've won away for the 4th time in the Barclaycard Premiership this season, and they've won it thanks to 2 goals from Matty Holland.
Okay, that was a fine win and what a performance from Dean Kiley all those years ago. We're now going to hear from Pete. Questions for Johnny. Pete
Okay,
tweets,
yes, thanks very much. Rod K on Twitter. Do the players ever look at social media, and does it ever affect them?
Well, we look at it, yeah. I mean, obviously, I've got Twitter, and I look at it, you know, time, but after games, you know, obviously you get more messages after games or in and around games, and I try to take the good and not listen to the bad, really. Some people, I mean, I know people have come off of it before because of negative stuff. You know, I've been fortunate that I haven't really had too much of that, and I've just sort of pretty much ignored, but really it's been I mean, my experience of it has been 99% positive.
So I mean, that's Twitter, which everyone goes. Do you ever go and sneak on the forums that are around and have a look at what's going on there?
No, I don't go on there. I don't really see an upside to that. You know, people will have their opinions, and that's fine. But, you know, my work, you know, the training ground and out on the pitch, and that's fine. You know, you go on there, have your opinion, but I don't really think it's a place that players should go on. My dad sneaked on there before. And told me that so and so said this about me or said that about me.
I didn't say a word. It wasn't
was it you? No.
No.
It's like my legs are gone and I'm
not
time's up and blah blah blah. I've been hearing that for the last 5-6 years. So
only the last 5 or 6, John?
Last 10 years.
At Cavo10 CFC said we're going well, but any danger of a win against Millwall this year? 22nd of November.
We're all waiting for that.
That's the one,
yeah,
isn't
I mean, I think we've been waiting for that, you know, even longer than I've been here. But certainly the games I've had against them.
It'll be 19 years by the time we play.
Been up there with the most frustrating of the games that I've played. Just, you know, for whatever reason, just can't seem to get. But this is our year. We're going to do them this year and feel it.
Just on Mill, everyone always talks about, you know, even 50s or whatever, we just struggle to beat them. We haven't beaten them many times. The fact is, it's like 11 wins out of 60 games or something like that. But does that play on your mind? Are you aware of that, or is it because it's always different managers, different teams since then? But somehow the hoodoo still.
I'm aware of it. I think that's probably because I've been at the club a long time, and you know, people make you aware of it. I doubt any of the new boys have probably even heard of it all before they come here.
That's all part of the enigma of it all, isn't it?
Exactly. But they'll be made aware for sure. And from a personal point of view, I'm aware. People can't wait to remind you that it's been, you know, however long, and that we need to stick it up. And
yeah.
So
and if Bob can be the
Well, yeah, that would
Oh,
be,
that's great.
quite ironic,
25
yeah.
games for him.
Give them a reminder.
So, as he said in his press conference when he first arrived, he spent more time in hospital than on the pitch for him. So
I think that can only help the fact that he played for him and he knows about the rivalry, and obviously that we haven't beat him for a while. So.
okay, I got a tough one here. Nicholas Selby says, in your time at Charlton, who would you consider to be the best player you've played with?
Oh, wow, that is a good one. I remember the first big influence on me when I first came to the club was Christian Daly. Just for the way he carried himself, I'd never met a better professional in all my life. He was fantastic day to day. Taught me a lot how to look after yourself away from football and on the training pitch. And obviously, he was a fantastic player as well. So I'm going to go with Christian.
Okay, any more tweets, Pete?
No, that's it.
That's your lot.
Yeah, we're going to move on now.
Okay, let's look at some ticket information ahead of Saturday for those planning on coming down to the Valley. Tickets for Saturday's match are on general sale and can be bought online, over the phone or in person from the ticket office. The home matches against Bolton and Sheffield Wednesday are also on general sale, while the trips to Bournemouth and Fulham are on restricted sale. If you can't make Saturday's match, you can always listen to Peter Finch commentary on our Matchday live service on CFC Player starting from 2:30 p.m. After the final whistle, CFC Player subscribers can watch post-match reaction from Bob Peters. Okay, to end with, we're going to have a bit of fun with Johnny. We've trawled through the archives and we found some photos of you, going all the way back to the beginning of your career and indeed throughout. So I want you to tell us, we'll have a look on the big screen and tell us what year it's from, if you can.
England youth, probably under
21s with that, or 20?
No, younger, probably under 18s. So 14 years ago. 2000.
2002 we've got for that one.
Oh really?
Yeah, there we go. Okay, we'll have the next one up now. This one's a bit of a shocker. Well, talk us through. There's a lot of things to talk about here, Johnny.
What do you want to talk about, mate? Come on, let's highlight them.
Well, I'm guessing you're a teenager because there's a bit going on there with the acne. There's the
haircut.
You've grown into your hair. I think we can agree. So what year was that?
Grown into your nose as well.
You've grown into your
There's
face.
a monobrow going on as well.
All right, Pete.
I'm just saying.
That's been sorted. So what year? What year do we think for that?
That would be first year apprentice, so that would be 15, 16. So that would be 16 years ago. That would be 1997.
Got 1999 for that.
Oh.
I could always be wrong.
You sure you lying 2 years out?
No, we're sure. That could always be an option.
From Wikipedia, all this info.
No,
Oh, it must be gospel then.
From the action images, I think. Photo 3. Here we go. More up to date ish.
Spurs first team 22, 10 years ago maybe. 2004.
2004, spot on.
That's not when you scored against us playing for that mob, was it?
Well,
That that was a night game, but it's
We'll get
probably
to that.
around that time.
well, we'll have a look at the next one and maybe we'll have something to talk about. There we go.
Oh my god. That looks like somewhere between the young one and that one you just showed. So probably got to be what, 18 there? 18. So 4.
Well, I think that is from the night that you scored the
Was
goal.
that the night?
I'm
No,
pretty.
no,
I'm
no,
pretty
no.
well, that's what I was told. But
Definitely not.
let's talk about. I mean, when you scored
I
that
don't
goal,
even think that's a Tottenham kit.
when you,
No, that's
It
definitely
looks an
not that
England
night.
kit, doesn't it? An England.
I was much older than that when I scored here.
must be England youth kit.
Yeah,
Stuff
England
information.
youth,
Because of the black collar. I think.
Yeah.
Johnny, talk us through that goal you did score against us here. I bet you never thought you'd be back captain the side in.
You
later.
don't think about it at the time. I was a Spurs player and I was just loving, being in the Tottenham first team and to score that goal. It happened at the end where all the Spurs fans were. I picked it up, I think, just inside the half and run. I think Dean Kyler was actually in goal that night. It from the edge of the box, but it was a good goal and I had my dad and my family was behind the goal, so it was a great moment for me. My first goal in the Premier League, my first goal for Spurs turned out to be my only goal for Spurs. So quite ironic that it happened to be against Charlton and many moons later turn up back here as a Charlton player.
You make no secret of the fact that you're an Arsenal fan.
Coming
Coming through Spurs. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Is that playing any part back then?
I was reading an old Spurs monthly the other day. I was probably 17, 18 at the time doing an interview, and they said like who did you support growing up? And I said, I've been a Spurs fan all my life.
Oh,
So I used to keep it quiet,
Yeah.
but now you can shout about, yeah, I'm a big Arsenal fan growing up. Yeah, it was never really a problem for me. Never really a problem. Never thought about it when I was playing for Tottenham. It wasn't an issue. So apart from when I helped the Invincibles win the league that time. So.
There's one photo you've got, well, two photos you've gotten away with. One was a Notts County reveal. We haven't got that one, but you can find it if you look hard enough.
I don't know what you mean.
If you look hard enough. Linen, was it a linen short and shirt duo?
Don't remember that.
What were you thinking then, eh?
I don't remember it.
Okay, well there you go. The other one we were going to get at was a photo of Johnnie Jackson. The fans know about it. You've constantly been reminding us about it. The really popular, by the way, sticker album, which a few weeks ago.
Boycott it.
That was a bit of a shock for you, wasn't it, finding out that your head had been...
Because I had seen the photo, people would put it up on Twitter, and then all of a sudden he was bringing this sticker book out, and there was the photo, but I'd been replaced by Johnnie, and then I took it up with yourself and denied all knowledge of it.
I had to go back upstairs and look, and I got the photo.
Denial.
Well, my question was, why would we do that?
And show him the original picture.
And in Johnny's defence, if you're doing a sticker book on Charlton Athletic, the skipper's page.
Can confirm.
Not only that, someone with a full head of hair as well.
Exactly.
But that is when you came on
with
stage. Because the words from our designer were for you to get your hair cut.
I've never heard so much nonsense.
Because of the spiky hair is far too high.
What spiky?
You need a nice bald head. You've had a haircut since that picture though, I will say. About a week after.
That was the reason.
I can confirm that there are two stickers of you, especially. And you got a special captain's one.
One of the shiny ones.
Cheers, guys. Well, I'm giving you now anyway.
Okay, right, we're coming to the end of the show. Thank Peter Finch and Johnnie Jackson for joining us tonight. And of course, thank you for watching. We'll see you Saturday.